Chapter 11. The Secrets of Adafa. Begin all acts and thinking by using Al-Kalum the All. Tablet 14. The Dream Vision of Adafa. 19 times 6 equals 114. Lo, before these things Adafa was hidden, and not one of the children of Enos knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the Watchers, the original 24 elders, and his days were with the Danir, the holy righteous ones. And I, Adafa, was blessing Anu, and lo, the original 24 elders, the Watchers, called me, Adafa the scribe, and they said to me, Adafa, you are the scribe of the righteous. Go declare to the original 24 elders, the watchers of the great city Nibiru, the heaven who have left the great city of Nibiru, the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have done as the children of the planet Earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. You have wrought the great destruction of Tiamat, the planet Earth. And you shall have no peace, nor forgiveness of sin, and inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall you not attain. And Adafa went and said, Azazel, you shall have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against you, and put you in bonds, and you shall not have toleration, nor request granted to you, because of the unrighteousness which you have taught, and because of all the works of those who do not follow Anu, and unrighteousness and sin which you have shown to the Adamites. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them, and they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the ruler Anu. From thenceforward they could not speak nor lift up their eyes to the sky for shame of their sins, for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition, and the prayer in regard to their requests, that they should have forgiveness and length. And I went off, and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. And I read the petition till I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me. And I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding to me to tell it to the sons of Nibiru, and reprimand them. And when I had awakened, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abel's jail, which is between Lebanon and Senesa, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the original 24 elders, the heavenly, the watchers, the record of the worth of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal, the original 24 elders, the watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with the tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to Adamites, to converse therewith, and overstand with the heart, as he hath created and given me the power of reprimanding the original 24 elders, the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted to you, and from henceforth you shall not ascend into the great city of Nibiru, heaven, unto all eternity. And of Tiamat, the planet Earth, the decree has gone forth to bind you all for all the days of the world. And previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision was shown to me thus. Behold, in the visions clouds invited me, and out of the mist a voice summoned me, and the course of El-Najamat, the stars, and the lightning sped and hastened me, and the winds in the vision caused me to fly, and lifted me upwards, and bore me into the sky. And I went in, till I drew nigh to a wall which was built out of crystals, and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire, and drew nigh to a large house, which was built out of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a tasseled floor made of crystals, and the groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like the path of El-Najamat, the stars, and the lightning, and between them were fiery Garubat, and their sky was water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered into that house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision, and oh, there was a second house greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire. And in every respect, it so excelled in splendor and magnificence, an extent that I cannot describe to you, its splendor in its extent. And its floor was of fire, and above it were lightning, and the path of El-Najmat the stars, and also its ceiling was of flaming fire. And I looked, and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was crystal, and the wheels within wheels, thereof as Afsu the shining sun. And there was the vision of the Garubat, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And Anu sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than Afsu the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the Anunnaki could enter, and could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw him even 10,000 times, 10,000 times before him. Yet he needed no counselor, and the Agigi, most holy ones, who were nigh, nor departed from him. Until then, I had been prostrating on my face trembling, and Anu called me with his own mouth, and he said unto me, Come hither, Adafa, and hear my word. One of the Agigi, the holy ones, came to me and awakened me, and he made me rise up, and approached the door, and I bowed my face downward. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Adafa, you are a righteous man, and a scribe of righteousness. Approach hither, and hear my voice, and go say to the original 24 elders, the watchers of heaven, who have sent you to intercede for them. You should intercede for the Adamites, and not Adamite men for you. Wherefore you have left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and laid with women, and defiled yourself with the daughters of Adam, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of the planet Earth, and begotten Jebarims, the mighty ones, giant sons. And though you are holy, spiritual, living an eternal life, you have defiled yourself with the blood of women, and you have begotten with the blood of flesh, and the children of Enos have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and beget children by them, that thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living an eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world, and therefore I have not appointed wives for you. For as the spiritual ones of the heaven, in the heavens is their dwelling. And now the giants who produces for spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the planet earth, and lo, on the planet earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have produced from their bodies, because they were born from the Adamites, and from the original 24 elders the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits they shall be called. As for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle and work destruction on earth, and they cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offences. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of the Adamites, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the Nephilims, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits have gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy without, until the day of consummation, the great judgment in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers, and those who do not follow Anu, yea, shall be wholly consummated. And now as to the original 24 elders, the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, who had been aforetime in the great city Nibiru heaven. You have been in the great city Nibiru heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones. And those in the hardness of our hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on the earth. Say to them therefore, you have no peace. Tablet 15. Adafa's journey through the planet Earth and the underworld Sheol. The first journey. 19 times 3 equals 57. Lo, And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. These are the Ephrains, and when they wished they appeared as men. And they brought me to a place of darkness, and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the laces of luminaries, and of the thunder, and of the uppermost depths were the fiery bow and arrows, and the quiver, and all lightning. And they took me to the living west, and to the fire of the west, which receives every appearance of the setting sun, Asu. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water, and discharges itself into the great Yaa-Nun, the sea, towards the west. And I saw the great Bahurat, rivers, and came to the great river, and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of Tiamat, the planet Earth, and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasures of all the wind. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation, and the firm foundations of Tiamat, the planet Earth. And I saw the cornerstone of Tiamat, the planet Earth. I saw the four winds which bear Tiamat, the planet Earth, and the firmament of the heaven. And they have their station between the great city Nibiru, heaven, and the planet Earth. I saw the winds of heaven, which turn and bring the circumference of Afsu the sun, and all the Korkab, the stars of their setting. I saw the winds on the planet Earth carrying the clouds. I saw the end of Tiamat, the planet Earth, the firmament of the heavens above. And I proceeded, and saw a place which burns day and shadow hour, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east, and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east, was of coloured stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those towards the south of red stone. But the middle one reached towards the great city Nibiru, heaven, like the throne of Anu, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the planet Earth. There the skies were completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of fire tall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the skies above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. And I saw 7 stars, like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the Anunnaki said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become the prison for El-Najumat, the stars and the host of the great city Nibiru, heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of Anu in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them, and bound them until time when their guilt should be consummated." And Uriel said to me, "Here stand the Nephilim, who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling Adamites, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons, till the great judgment, in which they shall be judged, till they are made an end of. And the women also of the Nephilims, who went astray, shall become Syrians, like those of Sirius. And I, Adafa, alone saw the visions, the end of all things, and no Enoshite shall see as I have seen." Names and functions of the 7 arch Anunnaki Elohim. And these are the names of the holy Anunnaki who watch. Uriel, one of the holy Anunnaki, who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy Anunnaki, who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy Anunnaki who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Murdoch, who bore the name Michael, one of the holy Anunnaki, to wit, he that is sent over the best part of men over chaos. Sarakuel, one of the holy Anunnaki, who is set over the spirits, who's in the spirit. Nusku, who is also called Gabriel, one of the holy Anunnaki, who is over paradise and the serpents and the Garubat. Ramiel, one of the holy Anunnaki, whom Anu sent over those who rise. Tablet 16, the second journey of Adafa. 19 times 1 equals 19. Lo! And I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither galactical heaven above, nor a firmly founded ground, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 angelic stars of heaven, bound together in it, like great mountains and burning with fire. Then I said, "For what sin are they bound, and on what count have they been cast hither?" Then said Kaukael, who bore the title Uriel, one of the holy Anunnaki who was with me, and was chief over them, he said, Adafa, why do you ask, and why are you eager for the truth? These are the number of the angelic stars of the galactical heavens, which have transgressed the commandment of Anu, and are bound here till 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And from thence I went to another place, and it was still more horrible than the former, and I saw a horrible thing, a great fire there which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is the place, and how terrible to look upon. Then Kaukael answered me, one of the holy Anunnaki who was with me, and said unto me, Adafa, why have you such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said, this place bore the name Kanergi, the prison of the disagreeable Anunnaki, and here they will be imprisoned forever. Tablet 17. Shul, or the Underworld. 19 times 3 equals 57. Lo, and thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain, and a hard rock, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and how deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael answered me, one of the holy Anunnaki who was with me, and he said unto me, these holy places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein, yea, that all the souls of the children of Enos should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them, till the day of their judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirits of the children of Enos who were dead, and their voice went forth to the galactical heaven, and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, one of the holy Anunnaki who was with me, and I said unto him, the spirit, who is it, whose voice goes forth and makes suit? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes a suit against him, till his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of Adam, the Adamites. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these 3 have been made, that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and such a division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is brought forth a spring of water, and such has been made for the sinners when they die, and are buried in Tiamat, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain, till the great day of judgment, and punishment and torment of those who are cursed forever, and retribution for their spirits, there he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners, who were complete in transgression, and of the transgressors shall they be companions. But their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed from the Yahweh of the Elohim of the glory, and I said, blessed be my ruler, the Elyon of righteousness, who rules forever. Amphil. Praise for a fool is out of place, like snow in summer or rain at harvest time. Curses cannot hurt you, unless you deserve them. They are like birds that fly by and never settle. You have to whip a horse, you have to bridle a donkey, and you have to be a fool. If you answer a silly question, you are just as silly as the person who asked it. Give a silly answer to a silly question, and the one who asked it will realize he's not as clever as he thinks. If you let a fool deliver a message, you might as well cut off your own feet. You are asking for trouble. A fool can use a proverb about as well as a crippled man can use his legs. Praising someone who is stupid makes as much sense as tying a stone in a catapult. A fool quoting a wise saying reminds you of a drunk man trying to pick a thorn out of his hand. An employer who hires any fool that comes along is only hurting everybody concerned. A fool doing some stupid thing a second time is like a dog going back to its vomit. The most foolish is better off than someone who thinks he is wise but is not. Why doesn't the lazy man ever get out of the house? What is he afraid of? Lions? The lazy man turns over in bed. He gets no further than a door swinging on its hinges. Some people are too lazy to put food in their own mouths. A lazy man will think he is more intelligent than 7 men who give good reasons for their opinions. Getting involved in an argument that is none of your business is like going down the street and grabbing a dog by its ears. A man who misleads someone and then claims he was only joking is like a madman playing with a deadly weapon. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossiping, quarrelling stops. Charcoal keeps the embers glowing, wood keeps the fire burning, and the troublemakers keep arguments alive. Gossip is so tasty, how we love to swallow it. Insincere talk that hides what you are really thinking is like a fine glaze on a cheap clay pot. A hypocrite hides his hate behind flattering words. They may sound fine, but don't have faith in him, because his heart is filled to the brim with hate. He may disguise his hatred, but everyone sees the evil things he does. People who set traps for others get caught in it themselves. People who start landslides get crushed. You have to hate someone to hurt them with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. These are some of the wise suggestions that will keep you walking in the right path. Solomon, wise in all but domestic affairs, his best choice was Sheba. His worst choice was Canaanites, but Solomon himself was mixed, deluded and genetically tampered. For David his father, who was also wise in many things, yet unwise in his choice of women, for he married Bathsheba. So even the wise can do foolish things and affect the innocent. Be not a fool, but even worse, be not a wise fool, for a wise fool thinks himself wise when he is indeed a fool.